navigating social pressures. And this can be social pressures because of the group you're in physically, but social pressures also because it can be an online pressure thing too, which is actually quite funny because Deb and I were talking about certain social pressures and things being done or posted in certain ways because I have to do it or I have to look a certain way. Right?
Social pressures are an a-hole.
There you go. That's it.
There you go. End of. Take a note of
We're
that,
done.
people.
We're done. It's an a-hole. We're done.
So, hang on. I'm just going to say thank you for the beautiful introduction, Moira.
My pleasure.
Bring us into that, and Deborah just goes, mic drop. That's me.
Yeah. How you roll.
Yeah. Social pressures are a spiral.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. Here we
So
are.
long. It's been so long.
Well, it has and it hasn't, because really for our listeners, it's just a week ago.
It's totally just been a week. Totally been a week.
Just been a week. Welcome to one of our deliciously motivated mindset podcast conversations. And this one, I'm actually really looking forward to our conversation today. Top tips to navigate social pressures. Wonder how many rabbit holes we're going to go down with this one.
Oh.
Dear listeners, if you've been listening to us for a wee while, you know that we've started this kind of new format just to really help all of us land into the present time, into the present moment before we start riffing on these top tips to navigate social pressures. So I like to think of what we're doing here is we're going to come into some form of heart coherence to just feel yourself in your body. And as we begin this, I invite you, if you can, put one hand or both hands over your heart space and take a nice deep breath in, filling your heart up. And then breathe out, and you can breathe out with a long sigh, just intending that you're landing here, feeling yourself connected to Mother Earth, breathing in and breathing out, feeling yourself connected to the universe. And then one more nice deep breath in and out, feeling yourself connected to everybody else listening to this conversation with you. All beings, even feeling yourself connected to all beings not listening to this episode. We are actually all connected, but it's such a nice, yummy thing to do to just take a wee moment and take a few conscious, mindful breaths and really connect from your heart space. And then with that, you can, if you had your hand on your heart, you can let that go. Just check in. Where are you? How are you? And we encourage you to grab a note-taking device because we like to share as many tips as possible. And sometimes we kind of get into storytelling more than sharing tips. So I'm intrigued to know to see how we go with this one. Navigating social pressures. And this can be social pressures because of the group you're in physically, But social pressures also, because it can be an online pressure thing too, which is actually quite funny because Deb and I were talking about certain social pressures and things being done or posted in certain ways because I have to do it or I have to look a certain way.
Mm.
Right?
Social pressures are an a-hole.
There you go. That's it.
I'll just, there you go. End of. Take a note of
We're
that,
done.
people.
We're done. It's an a-hole. We're done.
So, hang on. I'm just going to say thank you for the beautiful introduction, Moira.
My pleasure.
Bring us into that, and Deborah just goes, mic drop. That's me.
Yeah. How you roll.
Yeah. Social pressures are a spiral. You can be thinking you're on
Yeah.
the right track, and it can hit you. It can hit you so quickly and so hard if you're not prepared. Now, I don't believe everyone can be prepared for a social pressure all the way through their life. Like they
Oh, for
just come
sure.
and then you're left with, where did that come from? How did I miss that? And it's only when you stop that you go, there were a few signs.
Mhm.
That happened. So I think I've got a gazillion tips and a gazillion stories that I've filtered through in my head and went, don't tell that story, but tell that one, don't tell that one. You know, we're going to keep
And
this.
how to navigate it all.
Yeah, that's it. How to navigate the social pressures of being blocked on our podcast stories. But I think one of the things I want to say is trust,
Mm.
and trust is so important through this. Now I know people have had other people who have broken their trust, or the universe has broken the trust on you that you think, or you've even broken your own trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trust is an ongoing exercise to believe in yourself that it's going to work, whatever it is that people are going to do. And Moira has this beautiful saying. She says, trust is an inside job.
Mm-hmm. You gotta trust you first.
And if you don't trust you, then how the heck are you going to function in this world of discombobulation, beautiful love, peace, war, kindness, meanness? How can you? So trust is a really important thing. And I know with trust, we have experiences that have happened in our life that were like, they did that to me, they betrayed me, they did that, they always do that. Just take a moment to resolve that story, because those stories are also things that hold us back. And just look at whatever that story is, and just look at the gifts that you got from that story.
Mm.
When I say that story, the actual action, not just repeating that story over and over, I'm talking about the gifts you got from that story, because then you can go, oh, it actually wasn't as, and my quotation fingers in the air, wasn't as bad as what I thought, because
Yeah.
there's actually the gifts I got out of that. And that allows you to put trust more in your heart if you've had an icky situation about something.
Mm-hmm.
Does that,
Yeah, it's kind of like saying even in conflict or turmoil that there is something that you can say thank you. Now I
yeah.
understand why I was embroiled in that, or why I felt indignant, or they shouldn't be doing this, or they should be doing that.
Oh, it makes so much sense. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, trust is so important. I think trust is probably one of the ones that we talk about in every single
I know
episode.
it does come up so often for us.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it comes at the start, and sometimes it comes at the very end when we go, any other tips? And we go,
And go,
oh,
oh, whoops, we forgot that one.
trust. But trust is so vital to allow you to get through. And social pressures are there.
Yes.
They're there. They're there to wake you up, to level your world up when you know how to handle them.
Mhm. I like
Um,
that. It's actually a really beautiful way for us to start this conversation. I think that my tip to follow on from that is if you well actually there's a whole package in here. It's
I
kind of like
know. I'm
about
the
this,
same.
about this, about this.
As I said all that, I was like, oh, that's a tip. That's a tip. Yeah, okay, yeah.
But where I was coming from is two pieces. So the first one that comes to mind is to compare. Don't compare.
Oh,
If you see somebody making a statement or making a stand or saying rally the opinion over this way, and you think, oh, I should do that too. Gosh, that person's making a post about this situation or crying something out. I should.
Let's just say a vulnerability post. Let me be vulnerable for a moment. Is that what you?
Yes,
Let me
that.
those posts. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, now I should do that. So that's what I'm saying is part one to my tip is to not compare yourself to others, because what you see is somebody's outer projection of what's going on. You don't actually know what's going on with them. You know what's going on with you. So if
Yeah.
it feels genuine, for sure, but not doing it because it feels like a pressure. I have to measure up. I have to be like that. And so
Yeah.
that's the second part of my tip is allow yourself to feel that. You can feel that come up within you. Oh, maybe I should. Good. Let's just sit on it. Maybe you do write it out and then sit with it and see. Because there's one of my favorite questions comes in here. How do I feel about myself here? So let's say you entertain that idea. I'm going to make a post about this. Do like prepare it, but then ask yourself, how do I feel about myself? If the answer is, oh, I feel like I'm keeping up the mark, or I'm keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing, then maybe it's not the best thing to do. And maybe you are being held or being do you know what I mean? You're being thrown off, you're being led down this path because of social pressure.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to come back and recap your ones you've said because there's so much in there. I'm just going to add, be authentic to you.
Yes. Beautifully
And
said. Absolutely.
and the reason I say that is because you have to lie in bed at night with the decisions and actions you've made and sleep.
Yep.
If you have been inauthentic, you're going to struggle to sleep.
Yep.
If you've got any turmoil that you did that because of that, or you had to do that, and it's gone against your core being, because that's really important. If you are if you're religious to a particular religion and somebody says and I'm going to say stupid religion, and that's people say that's a stupid religion, why would you want to do that, that's just stupid, and you then decide if you're going to change that, that's also comparing that whole thing. But you're going to not, if you decide to go from left to right or right to left, whatever, you're going to have more turmoil.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to say at the end of the day, did I do everything with the best? Did I do everything I could with the best I had today? And the answer is going to be no, because I changed direction, I did this, or I took on a whole
followed somebody else's agenda. Yeah.
exactly. And so that's that thing about the comparing. So be authentic to you, because you're the one who has to live with your actions and decisions.
Yep.
Now, we can both help you with your mindset if you make an action or decision that you regret or resentful. Moira and I can definitely do that. But there's other things we can use our time wisely for. So if you just make those decisions with that, we can help level you up in different ways, because shame and guilt will destroy you. It will hold you back. It will affect your physical. It'll affect your finances. It'll affect your relationships with yourself, with the core being of everyone else out there as well. But and it's okay to go against the tide. I think that's the other thing. It's okay to go against the tide if it feels authentic to you.
And that's such an important part. That's what's that there's a book that says that go down the path less traveled. Right?
Yes.
You don't have to follow everybody else, right?
Yeah. It is, and it is, and you can get ideas off other people, but then you can choose and go, what actually fits right for me, what feels right for me.
Yeah, feels right for me. Yeah.
You already know what feels right for you. Now, I'm not a drinker. I'll just bring alcohol in here. I'm not a drinker. Although in saying that, I said to my beautiful friend Sandra when I was in LA the other day, and I said, I'm not a drinker, but if you produce the bubbles, I'll probably have a little bubbles with you. And she didn't laugh because I just literally said, I'm not a drinker, but if you produce a bubble, she's like, do you not think bubbles is drinking? But for me, I'm not a drinker. And I say that because I'm not one who has a drink every night. I had a bubbles with Sandra in Los Angeles last week. But prior to that, I can't even think of the last time I had alcohol. So I still choose to hang around people who have alcohol, and that's okay with me, because but the people I hang out with don't go, oh, Deborah, you need to be drinking. You'd be so much more.
Right.
I'm not getting that social pressure, because I've found, and this is a tip, is find your tribe. So for me, I'm around people who don't go, oh, Deborah, you need to drink. You'd be so much more fun if you're drunk and da da da. Why didn't you have a shot?
Why
I'm
would
not.
you hang out with anybody that had did or said that?
No, and that's that social pressure.
Mhm.
So it's really important to have those around who support your decisions, but also challenge you on some decisions, not solely go, yep, we agree with everything you say, like question. You want people to actually question you and go, what does that mean to you? What does that look like? Or why do you choose not to drink? Or maybe not the why, but what was there a reason why you stopped drinking? Just for curiosity and educate people on what it is, but then not to come back with judgment.
But yes, because I was just going to say, they can question you, but it's with compassion.
Oh, yes.
Never
Yeah.
ridicule. It's never
It's,
ridicule. It's like compassion, like, oh, good for you. You're choosing it to do that. Is there reasons why you've done that?
yeah.
Right? That's it.
And I have actually said a couple of times, I've been an alcoholic since I was a teenager. I have said that, and you literally, which is not true.
You can hear the beep, 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 beep. That's the
And
reverse,
you
the reverse alarm.
and that's the a-hole in me that comes out and just goes, like, I can see you're not going to accept my decision if I just choose not to.
Right.
And I remember thinking, because when I was younger, I used to run lots, and I would run purely because I could eat or drink, and it wouldn't
Right.
affect my body. That's the only reason I exercised heavily, so I could eat or drink. So have that social pressure. But the people I have around support my decision.
Right.
But they do go, oh, have you tried this? Or do you know anyone who tried this? And people still ask me, they know I don't drink. People still ask me, do you know a good wine in New Zealand we could drink? I'm like, flip, I haven't had
No.
a, I know. I'm like, what type do you like? And I'll ask my mum.
Yeah,
Or
there
I'll
you
ask,
go.
like that. But they're not going, oh, you don't drink? What's wrong with you? And sometimes you do have to bring out we were talking about dropping the bomb earlier. Sometimes, with Moira, that she's a gift giver and she drops a bomb, and then you're left with, okay, I'll process that. She wakes you up to the
I wake you
truth.
up. I'll jolt you into, oh my God, that's the way it is. But you
But
know
there's
it.
beautiful people around that, and that's exactly it. You want to hang out with those who support your decisions, but also allow you to think and ask you quality questions to level yourself up.
Absolutely. But just as a piece on that, it's not for alcohol, because I actually do like a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes. But I can think of times where I generally don't eat wheat, because I'm kind of, I have some issues with wheat. I will eat it occasionally.
Yeah.
If it's a cookie, I'll have it then. But I can remember times where people, oh, go on, it won't do you, and it won't do you any harm. You could just have one, and so I used to say, well, I'm allergic. With that,
Yeah.
I'm allergic. That's the best way to have people going, oh, okay, you can't have it.
I used to say I'm allergic in restaurants to garlic when they'd say, oh, it's got garlic. I'd say, I'm allergic to garlic because I didn't like smelling of garlic if I was going somewhere. That would be my thing. I'd say I'm allergic. Like, oh, okay, because then they sort of tend to. But we've got my partner's sister-in-law. She's celiac, so she
Mm,
can't have. She
so
can't
she
like
really is allergic.
she's like on I was going to say the spectrum. She's like far, far, far left. And
Hmm.
and she can't even use a chopping board or a
Right.
knife or the
Yeah,
sense
that's
like
the
just
serious.
full on. And
Hmm.
people are just like, oh, you'll be all right if we just use the same chopping board.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
no.
literally become this dragon. I'm like, whoa, you're going to kill it for a chopping board. You don't want to get a clean chopping board out. Like, but that's exactly it. And that's a social pressure as well.
Yeah.
Having a food allergy that you've got to trust. She brings all her food if she goes somewhere. She takes her food, or she speaks to. I mean, there's a lot more restaurants now who are open to food allergies than back 10, 20 years. But it is that social pressure, and I guess it's that confidence of being able to speak up and speak your truth. Now, by
Yep.
the way, people, there's a gazillion tips that we've shared. We just haven't said there's a tip here, by the way, because when we go to recap at the end, I don't know what we've got
We'll,
out of all
we'll
of
do
those.
our best. But listening to what you just said, Deb, I just wrote down a tip, and this is a tip.
Okay.
Is to always remember that everybody's going to have an opinion, and that's what creates this social pressure. Everybody has an opinion. However, others' opinions are not my concern.
I love that you say that often. Yeah.
Yes, it's like yeah, because and this actually tags into what you said about being authentic.
Mm.
When we show up authentically as we are, and somebody goes, "Oh, I don't like how she speaks," or "I don't like how what that she uses discombobulate all the time." It's like-
You actually used a really good one the other day on distortion.
oh,
Yeah. I've
thought
got that written
distortion.
down as well. Distortion, yeah, thought distortion. And I was like, oh, I like that. I like that. Population. So they're my two new words for the year.
I love
Crikey.
it.
Everyone's
I
worrying
love it.
word. Like distortion and discombobulation. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
But you see, you can, if you really unpack that, that in itself creates that social pressure. If you're like, oh my gosh, I have to look a certain way because this person's going to think that of me, or I have to speak a certain way because that person doesn't like me using those words. We've diluted ourselves past the who we are, what our uniqueness is, what our quirks are. We really are supposed to all be showing up as we truly are, not as we think we need to escape pressure or to
Yeah.
fit in,
Yeah.
right?
I think about that, and I actually think about teenagers trying to find themselves, or even young children trying to find themselves.
Mm.
People are asking for nudes on social media. And when I was that age, people would definitely ask for nudes, but they asked in real life. But like, show me this. Yeah, not really. It's not enough incentive. But in saying that, that's each, and they're still trying. Our children are still trying to, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, even 15, 16, 17. They're still trying to find their feet. And so when we say be authentic and find your right tribe, they're
Mm.
still navigating and finding the right tribe. And just when you think you've got somebody then shares that information that you shared with them to somebody else, and it's gone that whole.
Right.
It happens to us adults, but I think we are more, I'm going to say, I believe we're more resilient than younger children. And so it's
Yeah,
it's eye on them. So if you've got children who are if you come to this podcast and you've got children who are looking to learn how to navigate social pressures, walk your talk.
100%. Oh
because
gosh, yes.
because if you exemplify how you are, that's what they look at. And
Yep.
if you can be authentic and say no and make these decisions and believe in yourself, your children or your those around you, they're not going to look up to you in a way of, oh, they're going to look up to you and go, okay, that's all I know. I know to walk my talk.
Hmm.
If I don't want to drink, I can say I'm not drinking and I'm not doing it.
Yep.
If I don't want to send a nude, I can't believe we went into nudes here, but of course, or is it like where this
Oh
you to
my God,
me?
where did this come from?
But there's that, if you can walk your talk and exemplify your life, people see a piece of that and they go, you know what? So when we talk about compare, they can go, look, Moira walks her talk. If she's got something going on in her mind, she will do the work on it. She's not going to
Yes.
sit. I mean, she may not do it in 24 hours. She may just sit and feel it, and that's okay.
Yep.
But she gets the result of resolving and dissolving this. And the
Yes.
same for me. We walk our talk. So if you have children who are struggling, or nieces or nephews who are struggling to find themselves in this social pressured world, just show them how to walk their talk,
Yep.
exemplify that yourself.
Yeah. And actually allowed and to add on to that, it would be to allow them have a voice too. Like
Oh
as
yes.
as the way shower, we walk our talk. But it's also like you're saying, teenagers, it's like a they have to filter it through that, but they also have to use their voice and not internalize. Like they might see something, and I think of different times where they see styles or fashion and then think, oh my gosh, I have to look like that. And I'm not good enough
Well,
if I don't look like that. Right?
well, I remember having it when I was younger, and I had my hissy at mum. I said, why do we have to go to a school that has a uniform? And mum's like, so you're all the same. And I remember
Yes.
her telling me that, and I was like, I don't want to be the same as my people. I don't think so. That's unfair. But even having a uniform allows you not have to compete. Who's got the rich clothes? Who's got the poor
Yeah.
clothes? Who's got half? Who's only wearing half clothes? Who's wearing full clothes plus more? Like you're all equal. And I
Yep.
think that's the reminder of us, is that we're all we're all equal here, doing the best we can with what we have in this world. I guess
My dad was quite an anti-establishment type of dude, and I would have loved to have gone to a school that had a uniform. I knew other schools and other people that went to schools with uniform. I'd be like, oh my God, it would be so great, because
Oh.
because I didn't have the fashionable clothes or so it's always like I got teased relentlessly because of how I looked and what I
Well,
dressed up in.
I think just even you just saying that is appreciate what you have,
Yeah.
because there would have
Yes,
been,
because social pressures can actually stop you seeing that.
how do we get so far without that one?
I
Because
know.
when we think about it, if someone's got curly hair and I've got straight hair, I wanted curly hair. Do you know how many times I've permed my hair to get curly hair? People are like, your blonde is so beautiful, it's so natural, and people dye their hair to get that blonde.
Mhm.
And then it's appreciating what you have, because that's in everything. Because when
That goes to don't compare yourself to others. Like,
yeah,
because you think you're less than because, oh, look at they've got this, or they can dress up in that, or like you say,
so
curly
what
hair.
here was me moaning about having a uniform, and Mum's probably thinking, oh, thank God she's in a uniform. I don't have to go, what clothes am I going to wear today? Like, and you're like, oh, I wish we had a uniform.
Yeah.
Just right then. That's that. So appreciate what you have,
Yeah.
because I tell you what, when it's gone,
It's gone.
gone, and there's a whole different world going on. Yeah.
But when it's gone, because this is the thing about tips to navigate social pressures, and you said it at the very beginning of our conversation, Deb, it's there. There is social pressure. We live in a like a global village, right? Where I mean, Deb's in New Zealand and I'm in Canada. So
Yeah.
we get to see and it's broadcast, like things that are on social media are broadcast world over. And so the key piece is to know that we are what's that word, that saying? We are in the world, we're not of it. We are in this social bubble, but we're not of it. So we can witness it. And to your point too, you've said this before. You can see something that somebody posts or see an image or see somebody's idea and you go, oh, I like that. That's good. There's no pressure there. Follow the path.
That's
Right?
right. I think the other thing is my body will tell me. My
Yes,
body,
mine too. So
I mean,
follow the inspiration.
I'm blessed with that it actually goes, oh, this feels right, and I'll follow it, and you can feel the beep,
Yep.
beep, beep, get out of it. Yeah, I do feel, if anything, for children, and I feel we as adults have experienced a lot more, but also be aware that you're not putting your stuff on your children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't hand your agendas off.
yeah. And so it's your storybook. You can choose what goes in your storybook. Your children's storybook is their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to jump into somebody else's chapter and recreate or something. Yeah.
So this actually is about mindfulness. It's like, is this opinion I'm about to share, is it does it allow other people to be themselves? Or is this opinion that I'm about to share telling people how they have to be?
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Yeah, my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, people. I still it's my way or the highway. With my assistant, it's my way.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
that's
that's
what I want.
appropriate. But that's
Yeah.
appropriate.
unless she comes up with different ideas and she goes, well, actually, what about trying something like this? I'm definitely open to that, 100%. But
Yes.
it's me living and breathing what feels right for me. And I guess that goes back to that authentic.
It does, because that's actually, it's not like you're putting social pressure. You have somebody who's basically an agent of you, right? So
Mm,
what she does or he does, whoever your staff is, what they do for you, it's got to look and feel like you,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So therefore, you do have the right to say, it needs to be formatted like this, it needs to look like this, it needs to sound like this.
It needs to have a capital letter for
It
the
needs to have a capital letter, yes.
please, please, just the simple things. I think.
So that, but that's separate to the whole thing about the social pressures, right? This is not necessarily, and to your point too, because I'm the same way too. I have an idea, I have my branding, I do my purple and I have my logo and I know what things what they look like, how I want them to look like. But I'm always open also to creative input, to somebody going,
Yeah,
oh, well, how about have you thought about doing it this way? And
yeah.
I can always say yes or no, right?
Yes, totally, absolutely. And it is. So I think that goes back to that authenticity and trusting yourself. And you're the one who has to go to bed at night knowing you've done the best you can with what you have.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
because you're answering to yourself with every decision or action.
Yes. That how does this make me feel about me? It makes me feel like I'm grounded in my genius. I'm
Yeah.
sharing my light. I'm sharing my compassion. I'm right. As opposed to, if we get into too many shoulds,
Oh,
that could actually be a reflection that we're allowing ourselves to be, buffeted by the pressures of the whatever is outside of us,
yeah.
right? So that would to me is that what's
Yeah,
your
that's
inner
a great one.
dialogue?
Yeah, just should language. Yeah. I think yeah, what is your but I have to giggle because I just the four agreements.
Here we comes the four agreements.
And just for the record, everybody, I love the four agreements, but do you think when I put it on the spot to actually say what they are, I fluster and I go to my drawer and I pull them out just so I've got them because Moira can tell them, recite them in order and everything, and I still get a little bit confused. But the four agreements are perfect for this on top tips
Yep.
to navigate social pressures because they're be impeccable with your word. And that's that same thing I was talking about, authenticity.
Mhm.
Don't take anything personally. And that even alone. Oh, why are you wearing that? Don't take that personally. Don't take
Yeah.
that.
It's their
Why should?
opinion. Their opinion.
Yeah, and I love that one because that's that. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Hmm.
Um, don't make assumptions.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I
don't
and
don't make assumptions means that when somebody posts that they've got all this wonderful thing happening and you think, oh gosh,
I know
they're
I
doing
actually
so much better than I am. Don't
I
make
do have.
assumptions.
There's a thing that peeves me off, and it's when people go, "Look, I went and bought a Louis Vuitton handbag. Look, I made all this money. Look," and I'm telling you what, I've got a social media post that one day it's all just sitting there waiting. When I get, you'll know when I'm peeved off enough, it'll just come out because it's sitting there going, "Let's not talk about how much money you made or what you got on your business. Let's talk about the impact you had around the world." And
Mm.
that's like that's mm-hmm.
There'll
So
be a jolt. That'll be a jolt.
it's sitting there waiting. It hasn't fired me up to 100% yet. It's got me very close, very close. But don't make assumptions of those people who say they've got all that money or they've bought a Louis Vuitton belt or any of that sort of stuff because have a look at their ins and outs. Ask them. Anyway, that's just my a-holeness coming out. And the other one is, which is definitely not impeccable with my word, by the way, those things that I just said. But the other one is always do your best.
Always, always.
And I think that's the four agreements just sums up about your social pressures if you
Yeah.
can do those
Yeah.
on their own.
I like that last one, that always do your best. That helps you when you lay down to go to sleep at night. If you did your best, there is no more like, oh my God, I didn't do this and I didn't do this and I should have done that. And No, if you can say, I did today, it was a good day, I did my best.
Yeah.
That's a
I
great
did
way to just,
I tell you what, you'll have a blissful sleep.
you
Even
will.
if someone's snoring beside you, you will, because you'll just be like, actually, my heart feels full. And I think that
Yes.
goes back to that gratitude. Have we not? Oh, yeah, I did say
Oh, we
appreciation.
said appreciation. Yes.
It's sort of in there.
AKA gratitude.
Yeah, we'll just throw that one in again. Gratitude is be thankful for what you've done, be thankful for what you have, and also be thankful for what you don't have. And when I say what you don't have, you may not have curly hair, but be thankful you don't have curly hair. You may be wearing a uniform, and so be thankful that what you don't have. Yeah, be thankful. Just be thankful for what you don't have, because I think
Absolutely.
that's well, and that just allows you to calm your farm, comes into my words again, calm, that allows you to settle yourself down, and you will have a more blissful sleep.
It's actually my way of ending a day. I have a gratitude practice that I do every single night, and it calms my nervous system down, and I just melt off into sleep.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful way to do that.
yeah. If you're not, even just take that one tip.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good point. Just if you did nothing else of the tips that we've been talking about here to
Oh,
navigate social pressure, if you just did a gratitude practice for all the things that you do have or don't have, and your experiences of the day, that would actually shift you from thinking that there's something missing and I have to do it in a different way or do it the way they're telling me to do it.
yeah,
No, you're doing it the right way.
yeah,
Walk to the beat of your own drum.
yeah.
Beautiful way to
Social,
do that.
yeah, social. We've got room for one more tip as we as we do that. Just one more tip as the time ticks by. Um, I'm going to give one more. Well, actually, we've got a tip each. I'm going to do one of my favorite ones. Is when you feel things wobble, just put your hand on your heart.
Mm.
Just instantly, when things feel like you're in a situation you don't want to be in, your intuition saying, I need to get out of here, I don't know how to get out of here, and your head goes into when you're having a thought distortion and discombobulation. Got those words in.
Deb's new words.
Thought decision and discombobulation. When you've got that, just put your hand on your heart, and it just, to me, it is the quickest form of, you don't even have to think gratitude. You just literally just put hand on heart and just go, oh, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I live here. And then the answers come clearer because you've already started to um, allow the smoke in your brain, the clouds start to lift.
Awesome.
What's your one tip before we sign off?
So my one tip is so it's actually kind of similar to yours about the wobble because we all have the wobbles.
Oh,
But
yeah, totally.
the tip is don't react in a wobble. So
Oh,
right, so if you see a post and you go, oh my God, I have to do this, don't react right there. You can, and putting your hand on your heart is a beautiful way, is to and then act upon what feels the most aligned, the most true to your own heart energy. So
yeah.
it can actually be just okay, all I'm going to do is take a deep breath. Or if it's something that you really have an opinion about, write it out and then walk away for a moment.
Yeah.
So don't react in a wobble.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer of just leaving the situation. But if you're going to leave the situation, you must tell I believe you have to tell the other person just out of respect, like, hey, this doesn't feel right now. Just give me some time.
Yeah, somebody else is involved. Absolutely.
If you turn around and just walk off their left, they'll follow you and it will escalate. We know that one. So it is that. Just this doesn't feel right for me. And I
Yeah, I
guess
just
that's
need
it.
a moment. Just I need a wee bit of space. I need a moment. That's it.
And you don't have to say, give me 5 minutes or give me till tomorrow. Don't give any time frame because then you're again restricted to
So
your own
yeah.
social you put on.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
just give me some time. I'm just going to go away and work on this.
Yep. Release the steam. They're thinking of the pressure cooker. Release the
Yeah.
steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Woohoo!
Awesome,
And
awesome.
because it's only your actions and decisions that you can change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, there we made it through. So
We
now
did.
what we're gonna with quite a few stories in between ish. So just know that we're going to recap everything now. I know Moira said at the start about grabbing a note-taking device. So just grab your note-taking device, and we have had a heap. So we're going to do our best
We do our
because
best.
a couple of big gaps I had in my little notebook that I got invested in talking to Moira. So the tip I have, or what's the tip you had to start with? Do you want to start with the first tip?
The first one, well, we talked about trust, but
Mm.
social pressure will spiral if you're not prepared. And so it was about trusting that it's an ongoing process, that if you feel like you have to, maybe it's like, oh, I just need to get in touch with my heart energy and trust. And
Yeah.
that's when we said, I like to say that trust is an inside job. So I trust that I'm going to show up in my best way, regardless of what social pressures may be showing up.
Yeah.
Right?
Trust is so important to everyday life, but I know that we've all had broken trust in our world. Like we've all had it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally all had it. But don't let that story filter through into your current day and your current actions, because that's a story that has been in the past.
Yep.
We probably talked about that somewhere. I don't know. The next tip I had was don't compare.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't compare those other people to you. And social pressures. I'm going to vote for so and so. I'm going to get the big TV. I'm going to get the house. I'm going to date this person. I'm going to make this money. I'm going to this mentor. Like all of these social pressures are very heavy. So don't compare yourself to others, and especially not on social media, because most people only show a one-sided perception that I'm
Well,
having a
it's the highlight reel. You're seeing the highlight reel, right?
It's it. Oh, you've said that one other time before. I
Mhm.
love that you're seeing the highlight reel. Yeah, let's look at the bloopers.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too. Remember,
There's,
there's always bloopers.
there's bloopers behind the scenes. So don't compare yourself to others, because people do get that. I want to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
That doodly doo doo boop
Just
boop
that's a song.
from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only song I remember from that. I want to be like you. Boop boop doop. Yeah, okay, I did sing. Anyway, the short version of what I'm saying is don't compare yourself to others.
Yep.
Highlight reel and think that's it. Yeah, okay.
The next tip I wrote down was to be authentic. Be authentic to you. And that's when you had said that we can help people with their mindset, but the mindset is to be authentic. Like so it's that's that question. That's actually why I keep coming back to my favorite question. How does this make me feel about me? One of the best ways to get in touch with your own authenticity. It makes me feel on track. It makes me feel in touch with my heart energy. It makes me feel in touch with my purpose. But it's so important. What does that mean to you, right? Be authentic your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got something that I wrote in here, and I wrote down feel the feels, write it out, and then decide if you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was if it doesn't feel right for you, you'll know. So write it all down. What is it you're going to do? Where is it at? What's going on? And then you can decide, because what you're doing is you're brain dumping. You're taking the things out of your head and you're putting it onto paper. And often when you take it out of your head and put it onto paper, you can actually see things a lot clearer. I don't know where that came in, but I went feel the feels, right? And I was
I
like,
like
oh,
that.
yeah,
I like that.
I remember that. I don't know who said it. Doesn't matter. It's out now. Perfect.
That's it. It's part of the list. And perhaps it came from this one, because the one that I had written down was about releasing shame and guilt and saying that it was okay to go off the beaten track or go against the flow. But don't let shame and guilt make you cave to social pressure.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
obligation.
and
And we also
obligations too. Yeah. Oh my
led right
goodness, yes.
into the camera then to Moira. And shame, guilt, obligation. Bury that in the backyard,
Yep.
because No time for that. Yeah.
No.
Obligation. Oh, you came to my house. I came to your house 3 times, so you've got to come to mine. I don't like your house. I don't like your people. Why?
Be
In fact, my
authentic.
my
Be authentic.
daughter, yeah, my daughter actually sent me a message in the night over how antisocial are you? I can stay in my house for 1 week straight without getting bored as long as I have food and good internet. And I laughed at that because I just went, that sometimes you don't want to see people, but it is that obligation to actually,
Right.
oh, I've been to your house 3 times. When are you coming over? It's like, oh, I don't want to leave my house. I literally don't. But I
Right.
had to get, yeah,
That's cute.
I can stay in my house for 1 week straight without getting bored as long as I have food and good internet. Yeah. I'm like, yep, that's me.
Yep.
Totally me.
There you go.
That's the one.
And you navigate social pressure just fine with that.
Yeah, totally. Because you've got to fill your own cup up. And when you
Yeah.
fill your cup up, you give from, and Moira taught me this, you give from your saucer.
Yep.
You don't give from your
You
cup.
you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What I've got next with the gap is tribe.
Hmm.
Find your tribe. Find those people who you resonate with, but ensure that they're not just followers who just constantly perk you up, that they actually ask quality questions to keep you on track of what that means to you and how you're going, because there's nothing worse than having someone who's just a yes person beside you. Yes, you're doing well. Yes, you're doing this. Yes, do that. It's like, actually, I want someone who can nudge me a little bit more, would be great. So find the tribe who actually don't have judgment on you and that you get along with. Because and the people who you were friends with at school, you may not be friends with now, and that's okay, because even who Moira and I were last year are no longer the people we are here.
Definitely not. Nope.
Yeah, no. And well, even a week ago, I
Hmm.
mean, I've been through some stuff, and even this last week or 2 weeks,
Yeah, you
I have a
have.
different perspective on life.
Yeah.
And so know that I guess it's also, find your tribe, but also be okay
Yeah.
shedding that the old
Yeah.
you as well.
Yeah. Because we're all evolving and shifting and changing. And
Yeah.
it's actually that's kind of cool, like you were saying, because you and I still vibe so well. We've known each other for over 5 years.
Yeah.
But we both keep shifting and changing. So I'm kind of grateful that we're still on the
Well,
same wavelength.
right, because I'm no longer that person I met you
Mm-mm.
at good old Ken Honda, at the Ken
Yeah.
Honda book launch.
Can't hand that event. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm no longer that person, and neither are you. I mean,
No,
I moved cities. In fact, we both moved.
we
Oh my God.
both. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll leave
Oh,
it at
there's
that.
there's a whole nother podcast.
But you're right. So people either come with you or they don't.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And that
That's
is
okay.
totally okay. It's the way it's supposed to be.
Find that tribe.
No pressures.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next one I wrote down was about the idea that everybody's going to have opinion, but
Mm,
other people's opinions are not my concern. So
yeah.
don't allow somebody else's opinion to derail your voice, your uniqueness, your vibe, your authenticity. You
Mm,
you need to stay true to you. And that's such a powerful way of navigating social pressure. It's like I'm not here to please you. I'm here to please the collective because I'm showing up authentically me. Right?
mm, yeah. Which then goes into the next tip I have is walk your talk.
Yeah. You're
Walk your
talking
talk.
about children.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Exemplify your actions, because if you do have children or anyone who looks up to you, if you say you're going to do something and you do it,
Hmm.
that's inspiring to see. But if you say you're going to do something and you don't, that's frustrating. So if you're wondering why your little cherubs are modeling you and they're going wayward, it's actually back at you.
Yeah. They're
It's actually
following
back,
you.
yeah, because the buck stops at that top part. So if you're wondering why your team aren't performing, oh, okay, I just heard it. Well, your team aren't performing, it's you. It's you.
Oh,
It's you.
uh-oh. The light just got switched on.
Oh,
The room
damn.
got really bright here.
I'm going to need my sunglasses to deal with that one, deal with that and navigate my social pressure. But it is, the buck stops with you. And
Mhm.
so exemplify your actions, Moira and I go through things, but we're pretty quick. I would say probably not 24 hours later it's resolved,
Yeah,
because we don't, I mean, yeah, I can't think of it leaving anything longer than 24 hours. I mean, I reach out to Moira will reach out, we'll talk.
yeah,
But exemplify your actions, because it's the only way to get through things, because that allows me to keep functioning and showing up the best I can in this world with what I've got.
100% with what you've got. Because that was the next tip I had here is to appreciate what
Oh
you
yeah.
have with what you've got. So
Yeah,
appreciate what you have. I always like to think of that. What you appreciate appreciates.
yes.
That's such a beautiful, and it does. There's a
Oh,
lightness, there's authenticity in there, right?
well, you hear that and you just go, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, the next one I have is language, and I'm not talking about swearing. Surprise. I'm actually talking about the shoulds.
Yeah.
Ought to. I should do this. I ought to do this. I have to do
Have
this. I
to do this.
need to
Got
do this.
to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're all obligation and survival tactic words.
Mm.
Oh, I need to do this because my mum told me to. Oh, I should do this because otherwise I'm not going to get paid. Or I have to do this because my partner's going to get cranked. Like all of this language. So just do what inspires you. I guess that comes into the 4Ds again. Do it,
Yeah.
defer it, delegate it, dump it. We'll just throw in another tip there, people.
Yep.
Um,
40s.
but also watch your own language of what you say.
Mm.
And oh, I should do this, and then you're like, uh-oh, hang on. In fact, when I was in Los Angeles last week, the hotel, she said, oh, it should work. And I went, did you just use the should word? She goes, yeah, my mum taught me never to use the should word. She says, but now I work in a hotel chain. She was the deputy manager, or yeah, same manager. And she was just like, every time I hear that, she said, I use that word all the time here in the hotel. She says, I don't know what it is. I'm like, you have no trust. It should work. It should work. I said, don't give a guarantee. She goes, oh, we'd never
Will
give
it or
guarantee.
won't it?
No, yeah. So I had to giggle at that when I actually called her up. I said, did you just say? She goes, oh, my mum calls me on that all the time. But be aware of that language, even when you're thinking it, not necessarily what comes out your mouth to others, what comes out to you, out your mouth to
Mhm.
you, but when you're thinking it, because
Yeah.
that language is heard at a vibration level just as much as it is if somebody can hear it, the words.
Definitely. And sometimes I think it can even be louder when it's just a thought.
Ah, it is.
But talking about watching your words, we talked about the four agreements in as a tip to navigate social pressure. And the four agreements is to always, always be impeccable with your word. And that is the thoughts, the words you use out loud to yourself, about yourself, in conversation. Always be impeccable with your word.
Mm.
Don't take things personally. Just because somebody's yelling doesn't mean they're pissed off at you. Just, it's not about you. Don't take things personally. The third one is to not make assumptions. Just because something went one way at one point doesn't mean it's going to go that way every single time. And then the last one, my favorite one, actually, they're all my favorite, truth be told. But the last one is to always do your best. And also make sure that you're not judging yourself like, oh, my best was at this level yesterday, and that this today
Yeah.
it's less. So therefore I suck because I shoulda, coulda, woulda. So really stay present to what's your bandwidth, what's your capacity, what is your best today, because it's fluid, shifting and changing piece.
I think that's a great one, because yesterday I was exhausted. I mean, I've definitely run on there has been very little overflow of that cup. In fact, I don't even know if the cup got to halfway sometimes over the last couple of weeks. But in saying that, yesterday I went and had a 2 hour sleep, and I had some food, and then went back and had another 2 hour sleep. So when I always did my best, I went to bed last night actually going, I took time aside for me. I cleared my calendar. I was able to clear my calendar, and I just did what was needed
What was
for
needed
me.
for you, yeah.
That kept me functioning.
Yeah.
And I love that, always do your best. And there was no social pressure for me. I just went, I don't care what anyone thinks right now. This is me. Like right now, I
Perfect
have
place
to.
to be. Such an important piece for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wisest way for me to keep functioning in this world right now.
Mhm.
I love those 4 agreements. And of course, Moira just recites them just like that. Whereas me, I'm still reading, going, oh, I know what the next one is. I know what this one is. Thank you. The next tip I have here is we've got gratitude.
Mhm.
And even though we said appreciate what you have, be thankful for what you have. But when you go to bed at night or when you wake up in the morning, what are the things you're thankful for?
Mhm.
You know, when I go to bed at night, I go, oh, I'm thankful I woke up this morning and I had a beautiful sleep. Or I'm thankful I woke up this morning and had a rough sleep because now I'm going to make sure I change my pillow tonight. Or whatever they are. And so you're grateful for the things that have happened throughout your day.
Yeah.
And I guarantee if you have a grateful mind, you'll have a grateful heart and life treats you differently.
Mhm.
But it has to be authentic gratitude, not
Not, oh, I better say this because Deb told me to feel grateful.
yeah, and not cheap chat GPT gratitude, okay, people? I'm talking about real gratitude from your heart that's authentic and real.
This says, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. The next one, this was a tip that you said, this is us getting near the end. You said about when you do have a wobble, pause, just feel the wobble, put your hand on your heart and remind yourself this is the seat of your soul. Breathe into it and just say, I've got this. Understand that there are many wobbles in life. That's what social pressures can sometimes create, is a few sense of wobbles, but you can put your hand on your heart and recalibrate to what's best and right for you.
Yeah. And then the last tip, the last tip was watch your reactions.
Mhm.
Watch your judgment, watch your reactions, watch your physical movements, watch what comes out your mouth, going back to all those 4 agreements. Because you can only your role in this world is to keep moving forward and be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Here for a purpose that's greater than what some are playing at. So if you want to navigate social pressures, definitely watch your reactions because that will keep you in flow. And I remember Dr. John DeMartini saying, would you have done everything you did yesterday if there was a camera crew on you for 24/7? And I remember because I was like, no, I had a great day yesterday. I did everything. And he said that to me and I went, okay, like leave me alone now. And that's exactly it. So did I react? Oh yes, but nobody saw me, so it's okay. No, it's not
Right,
okay.
right.
No, it's so if you had that camera on you 24/7, it was on Times Square billboard, would you be okay with what you said and did yesterday? Your thoughts, everything? No. Then pull yourself back. But yeah, watch those reactions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was our top tips to navigate social pressures. I trust you, or we both trust that you actually got some golden nuggets there.
Yeah.
And we recap those. So if you're a little bit like, wow, there were so many, I'm just going to encourage you to do the next step. And the next step I'm going to encourage you to do is just pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Just pick one tip that resonated with you and implement that for the next 24 hours. Because if you can start to live it, and it doesn't, you don't need to do this. I mean, you'll do it anyway, but you don't need to go, oh, this is this one thing I've got to do for seven days in a row. It will actually flow. If you start implementing one tip a day,
Mm-hmm.
it will flow and embed into you. You don't need to do it every hour on the hour, get the alarm going. Am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am I doing this? Just keep living your life, but just start implementing one tip a day because it will be embedded into your culture, your thoughts, your actions, your soul without you doing anything really. It's just going to start flowing.
Yeah.
So we thank you for joining us on our top tips to navigate social pressure. If you like this, I'd love you to drop in the chat whatever if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever it is, I'd love you to drop in and let us know what's the tip you love the most from this.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, because we want to know what one you really, really loved.
What you resonate with. Yeah.
But also know there might be someone here you didn't resonate with, and that's okay. Like
Mm.
we're not going to stop you as a someone who listens to our podcast. So actually, you're in control of yourself. But just hang in there. There's a lot of other ones there for you.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you for coming here today. We look forward to sharing our next podcast with you. If you're desperate and can't wait a week for the next one, go back and listen to our other ones. Go back and listen to our very, very first one, because that was very different to what we do right now.
Yes, definitely.
I listened to that recently. That was a bit of a, wow, listen to us. Listen to my voice. I clearly haven't changed the voice. But thank you for joining us, listeners. And thank you for, I trust that you're going to engage and let us know what's your favorite tip. And thank you to Moira, and thank you to the internet.
Thank you to the internet. Yes, I was just thinking that. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
know. We turn up and there's a little bit of clenching, like, okay, we're going to get through this. What's going on? What's going on? But thank you, listeners. Thank you. And we appreciate you. And we appreciate that you're going to take these tips and live them into your world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next time. Bye.